I started dialing expireds, and so I started dialing expireds. And one thing I'm starting to notice with expireds, because I was focused solely on expireds and door knocking.
Yeah.
Expireds, I'm getting about a 10% answer rate on expireds. That's at best. Keyword, at best.
That's exactly a norm. That's about what everybody's getting. If you have a good data source, what do you use? Espresso, or what do you use?
I use Mojo Dollar.
Mojo, yeah. You're not going to get more than that. You're doing okay.
Okay, good. Realistically, it's probably about maybe a 7-8% though. But with that being said, and
yeah.
I was able to schedule one appointment, but that appointment no show. Keep in mind, when I dialed the expireds, I was calling people that were 30 days, maybe up to 60 days old expireds. So those were the expireds I was calling. I wasn't calling like the brand spanking new expireds that just expired 2 hours.
Just to give me kind of an idea, how many do you think you've dialed over the last 30 days, roughly?
Expireds, I dialed 420 expireds.
420, and of those you talked to what, about 40?
I talked to about 36.
36 conversations.
Oh, no. I had, whatchamacallit? It was really about 23 conversations, because most of the conversations like, no, I'm not looking to list my house.
That's a conversation.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
So you had, how many do you think you had?
I had 36. I counted.
36. Okay. That's a conversation. Even if they say no, jump in the lake, hang up. It's a conversation. It's a short one. It's a conversation.
Yes.
Okay. And out of 36 conversations, one appointment.
Yes.
Right? And that was a no-show.
It was a no-show.
Okay, cool. Now, these are normal results. There's nothing extraordinary out of it. Either way, both positive or negative. That's how it works. Now, 36 conversations, how many of those do you have on follow-up right now? Where you're going to either text them again, call them again, mail them, do something about it?
Only have 2 of them on follow-up.
So 2 on follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the problem.
Okay.
Because if you do the math, now again, this varies by area. You can study this in your MLS, do a little research, and you will know the exact number. But I can tell you about average, out of 420, 50% will sooner or later be back on the market, give or take. Can be a little more, a little less, but just like your 10% is about average, this is about average. That means you're sitting on 210 potential listings. Now, here's the problem. The only way you're going to get them is if you have a very consistent follow-up. Because what happens when you dial and either they don't answer or they hang up? You go to the next one, right? Is that what happens?
Yeah, so most times on an average day, I'll call, and yeah, most times they don't even pick up their phone. When they do pick up their phone,
so 90% don't pick up their phone, but they still list.
Correct.
Which tells you what? That the phone is just one small road to get that listing, one little sliver of that pie.
Mm-hmm.
That you need to open up the channels. You follow me?
I'm following you.
Okay, so this is a small percentage. You had 36 conversations, 1 appointment. So how do we get these 210 listings? Now let's say you just get what? Let's say you get 10% of those. That's 20 listings. Would that be good?
Yes.
Would you be happy with that?
Yes, I would.
So here is what you do. First, you call back. You just load them up in your system, in your CRM, and if you have the phone number, you just keep trying. You don't give up. Whether you talk to them or not doesn't really matter a whole lot. Because parallel to that, you're going to start your follow-up.
Okay.
So you go through these 420 properties, and those that, of course, we listed out. Those you don't want, an area you don't want, price range you don't want, or there's something about that listing that just does not appeal to where you know you can't sell it, out. So let's say 80% go on follow-up. So it's about, I'm making stuff up, about 350 go on your follow-up now. Okay? And to those, you start marketing on all channels. That means as many as humanly possibly. If they're email, you're going to start emailing them. If you have their phone number, you're going to text them and call them. If you can visit them, you're going to visit them. If you can mail them, you're going to mail them. Of course, you can mail them. So the first thing they need to get is your expired package. Second thing they need to get, if you talk to them, is a nice thank you card. And you just keep in touch. If it's a good lead, 14 days, they hear from you. They need to see your name. They need to hear your voice. They need to be in constant communication with you. Because the problem is,
okay, gotcha.
50% will relist. The problem is you don't know which 50%. There's just no way to know. Until you have a conversation with them where you can build some rapport and connection with them and then ask them questions, qualify them, you don't know. Very often they don't know. Especially now when they're all confused about the coronavirus and the market and the prices. But it also creates an opportunity. Because we really don't know where the market is going to go. Now, I don't want you to fearmonger anyone or predict something we don't know, no speculation. But is there a realistic possibility that the market will tank and go down?
Yes.
That's a possibility. If we just go by unemployment rates and where the stock market is going, there is a possibility. Now, again, I don't want you to make shit up. I don't want you to scare people. But on the other hand, it is your job to tell them there's a possibility that this thing can go down. Who knows? The question is not necessarily where the market is going to go. The question is what's best for you. What would be the best outcome, the best solution? What if you could get a good qualified buyer right now and get a good price for the house, something you would feel is fair, you would be happy with? We can explore the possibility, hook them into a dialogue. And maybe it is a good time for them, maybe it's not. And maybe they want to wait it out. And maybe that is a good solution. It all depends on their circumstances. You with me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So the idea is you have these loaded up in your CRM and you are relentless in your follow-up, especially under these conditions. It requires more effort, more time, more repetition to engage them because we are in very stressful, difficult, complicated times that I've never experienced in my life, and I've been through some tough shit before. But this is like nothing else. You can't, that's the problem with the predictions. We don't have a model to predict it on. This does not compare to the savings and loans fiasco we had in 2007. This is not the shit that I went through when I got into real estate in 1980 and 1990, because there are different forces at play. You know what I mean? That's why everybody's just kind of sitting there going, I don't know where this is going to go. Who knows? Or it can stay the same for the next 6, 12 months. Nobody knows with certainty. That's why one of the questions we've discussed before is how do I become a market expert? You need to stay on top of it because the moment you start seeing indicators that it's sliding, it's your obligation to let these people know, look, there seems to be evidence that we are on a downward track. And they need to know. And they need to understand not only what's happening, but what it means to them.
I got what you're saying.
Okay.
It's kind of a pain in the butt to preview property and go to open houses, when there's a pandemic, though. But I got what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Do the best you can. But that is your job, is to know exactly what's on the market, what is selling, where are the prices going, what is the demand, what is the market saturation, what is the conversion time. All of that it's just part of the job. And I hear you. Right. It's time consuming, it's demanding, but that's like a surgeon needs to know how to do a surgery,
Gotcha. The thing that you kind of threw me off on was, I thought it was, so the whole follow-up thing, because most of the conversations when I get on the phone, I'm not looking at this, blah, 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 boom. I mean, they'll just hang up on you like right there, even though it's a contact. And I'm just thinking to myself, because I did the cold calls and I did door knocking expireds. Door knocking expireds, the answer rate is much higher, especially if you knock on their door about maybe 2 times a day, like in the morning and in the evening. It's a 9-day difference. And that's what I'm actually thinking I might just have to do the shock and awe approach.
Do it. Yeah, absolutely. I highly recommend it. I would even suggest ditch the calls for now. Just
Yeah.
go there in person. But this is important, Assad. You must have the expired package. You must show up with more than just a business card.
Yes.
Because what you want at the beginning is a differentiating factor. Something that's memorable, something that stands out, and something that speaks to the seller and addresses their questions, fears, and concerns. That's why the package is put together the way it is. So it is essential. You got it. Oh, let me see.
I got
my screen going.
the
Oh, perfect. Oh, dude, you're rocking it. Excellent. So get these suckers out, because here's what's going to happen. I love that. That's really well done. What happens is, even if they don't list right away with you, you're starting to reposition yourself. So next time you call or you text or you email, they're like, oh yeah, Assad, I remember he left that stuff here. Okay? So use it. Deploy a lot of these. It's a heavy duty marketing.
So even if you, let's just go back to the cold call just real quick before we end up on it. So even in the cold call, I call them up. Yeah, hey, I'm not looking to list my home. Yeah, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. Click, right? Still submit expired package?
Of course.
Oh.
What do you think are they really saying? I don't want to move, or I don't know who to trust?
I don't know who to trust.
Because think about it this way. Look at it from the expired point of view, and stop me if we did this exercise, but this will kind of illustrate. Let's say they listed here. This is day one of the listing. They expired 90 days later, right? This is the expiration date, okay? And then you call them another, let's say 30 days later. So that's 120, yeah?
Right.
This is when you call on the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the question. Would they accept a reasonable offer here?
Yes.
Yes or no? Yeah. Would they accept a reasonable offer here?
Yes.
Would they accept a reasonable offer here on the date expired? What if on the date expired, you knock on their door and say, I have a buyer who is offering you a really good price? Do you think they would at least consider it?
Yes.
Yes. In most cases. There are exceptions, but in most cases, the answer is yes. Do you think that their life and their conditions, their circumstances, have fundamentally changed between day 90 and day 120 in most cases?
Yes.
Do you think it's changed? Something has dramatically changed in their life. They would accept an offer here, but not here.
No.
Not likely, right? In most cases, they would still sell here. They would still sell here. Because it is not likely that something really fundamental has changed in this window. You with me?
I'm still with you. Yes.
Okay. So now, when they say, no, we don't accept offer here, but we would accept it here, what are they really saying?
They were never motivated to begin with.
They would accept the offer. They just don't know you. They don't know why they should trust you. They're confused. They're scared. That's, in most cases, the real message. So for you to give up on them is foolish. Because we know, statistically, sooner or later, many of them will go back on the market. If you check the MLS stats, there's plenty of evidence for that. So what they say, as the song goes, ain't necessarily so. And what it requires is you persistently building connection and trust with them until they can tell you, Assad, this is really what we're trying to do, or here's what really is going on in our life. Is there a possibility that they're lost a job, or they're getting divorced, or something dramatic has happened that completely changed their plans? That's a possibility. But statistically, data tells a different story. Because they're acting on emotion. This is not a logical response. This is that knee-jerk reaction. No, thank you, we're just looking. Because they know that's the easiest, fastest way to get rid of all these salespeople reciting all kinds of pushy sales scripts. And it's uncomfortable, it's unpleasant, and it's scary to them. And they have no reason to trust you. They'd have no reason to believe that you're different. Because they already have a certain image in their mind. Salesperson calling, danger. Because that means only one thing. You want a commission, you're manipulative, you're going to pressure them, and they're going to make a decision they will regret later. So your job, first and foremost, is to establish, hey, I can be trusted. Let's just explore. I don't have an agenda other than let's find out what's best for you right now. But if you just come out and say this, they have no reason to believe you. Just like if I go out, think about it. How long have we known each other ourselves?
Ever since I posted that comment,
right?
Probably about maybe 6 weeks, 2
now,
months.
Before that, did you see any of my videos? Did you come to my Facebook Live? Was that some kind of interaction before you said, here's my credit card, take my money?
Yes, that is correct. The beginning of this year, I was doing a YouTube search. Your video came up. It's funny because your video came up and then, it was real good. Then, I didn't really come back to your channel until about maybe a month later. And then I probably looked at maybe about 80 of your videos before I made a purchase.
There you go. So it took me 80 follow-up messages to convince you, hey, dude, I'm here to help you make some money.
Right.
So you can't just give up on the first one. Imagine I would put out one video, you watch it, and I said, well, give me money. Sign up. I'm like, fuck no. See what I mean? It's a human nature. It's our psychology. That's just how it is. So if it took me 80 times to deliver something good and helpful, that's practical, that's just blowing smoke up your ass or telling you something you heard 20 times before, you need to do the same thing. Because one, you're never the only one. You always have another competition. Just like you had selection, you can go to other 20, 30 coaches like me.
Right.
And two, it took repetition for you to kind of be convinced, like, yeah, this guy really knows what he's talking about and he really wants to help me. And sure, I charge money, that's my business. But it needs to deliver value to you. It needs to help you. Same concept here. It's the same thing. Because what I do and what you do is fundamentally the same. It's your job to help somebody to get from where they are to where they want to be. Now, not just physically, but metaphorically. Because the move is just a metaphor to they want to feel better, they want to solve a problem. And in order for you to solve that problem, you need to first find out what the problem is. Before you can find out what the problem is, you need to build some kind of relationship with that. Now, sometimes that can be quick. I did have expireds where I would walk in an hour later, 2 hours later, I would have a contract signed. And that is dependent on two things: your skills, communication skills, confidence, and their urgency. And if their urgency is low, it's going to take some time. And if your skill is low, now I know yours is not, and you're working on it, it's going to take time. And sometimes you will never get there because they will label you just another salesperson. Either too pushy, too aggressive, too much, or too needy, too soft, low status. And either one is deadly. So your job is to, one, get the marketing in place. You have that. The package is awesome. I'm glad you're using it. But two, it's also your ability to deflect those initial no's, because that's nothing but smokescreen in many cases, based on fear. It's a fear reaction. It's a safety mechanism. And we all do it. I do it. Shit, I was in Nordstrom Rack before this nonsense. I was buying some shirts and stuff. Dude, I'm not kidding you. Beautiful store, right? I walk in. I have my wallet ready with my American Express. And this lovely gentleman walks by. Can I help you? And guess what I said?
Just looking.
Just looking. And the moment I said it, I'm like, fuck, I teach this shit. I know exactly what's going on, and I'm still doing it. So we're all the same. Okay? So the practical side to this is load all these into your CRM, launch the sequence, and just be relentless keeping in touch. Send thank you notes, mail them something, call them, text them, send them videos, send them emails. Be in front of them. Even revisit them if you can. And you're right. Visit, by far, the most powerful way. And again, this has to do with our neurobiology. When I see somebody in person, there's a lot more going on in the communication. There's nonverbals, there is eye contact, there's tonality, body language. And all of that helps you build trust and connection a lot faster. It's much harder to do it on the phone.
Right. So
what I would do is line up 2 or 3 a day and just hit them in person. And then you can start nurturing those relationships, and you can say, hey, Assad, what's your email? I'm going to email you something really helpful. Get their email, get their cell number, and just keep in touch, keep in touch, keep in touch, keep in touch, keep in touch. I had expired sometimes 6, 8 months on my follow-up before I converted them, but I knew that out of those that I put in the pipeline, some will convert. You just don't know who.
Crap, man. The thing that I was kind of a little tripped off on was when you said, when they just like hang up on you, just like right there within 10, 20 seconds, sometimes, and that's if you're lucky. I didn't realize send them an expired package, send them a thank you card, send them, an email, video. I was just only going to do it for just like door knocking, or unless I got like a real good response on the phone. I didn't realize it was no different than knocking on the door versus cold calling, that you would still send them an expired package. So
I would, again, because I know that statistically, no matter what they tell me on the phone, the only thing that matters on the phone is, have they relisted? That's really the only core message I'm looking for at that point. Because if they haven't, then I know statistically there's a 50% chance, give or take, that they're going to relist again. Maybe not right away, but at some point. Because think about it. Just because the property expired here, that doesn't mean their dreams, their goals just went away, or the problem just got magically solved. In most cases, that just doesn't happen. They still want that bigger house. They still want that nice condo. They still want to live in a different state or whatever. That just doesn't disappear. Unless they have a very low motivation to begin with, where they're like, well, if we can get $1 million for it, we'll just stay here. Well, if your house is worth $250,000, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Good luck. But that goes back to, what is their problem to begin with? What is the situation? And how bad do they either need to move or want to? Now, here's the best part. A lot of people will be turned off by this COVID thing. There'll be a lot of people who say, well, fuck this, we're not selling. So you're going to lose a portion of the market. But it will also open a big portion of the market. People who 6 months ago had no plans or desire to move now either really want to or will be forced to. Whether it's a job situation, money situation, health situation, all kinds of new influx of people who right now will say, we need help. Okay? Plenty of opportunity out there, plenty. Check your MLS. I'm willing to bet, depending on the size of your market, there have been at least 1,000 new listings in the last 7 days. Maybe more.
Yes, I noticed that too. There's a massive uptick in listings.
Massive. And many of those are expired listings. So there's a big opportunity there. You just have to follow the system. See, what I'm telling you is not new. It's in the book. It's in the videos. This is the process. CRM, first contact, follow-up. Don't just focus on the phone. Don't just focus on one thing. You know what I mean? Because you never know which channel they'll respond to. Some people text, some people video, some people mail, some people phone, some people combination of those. And you just don't know. But here's the trick. It can get really complicated and really busy really fast. Where you have postcards to mail and you have letters to mail and packages and calls and texts and all that. You're going to get busy. So you need to have somebody who can manage that for you. That's why having an assistant, at least on part-time basis, is essential if you want to make some serious money. If you want to do a listing here and there, then yeah, you can do it yourself and just kind of get lucky. But if you want it as a system where you can predict, I want 3 listings this month, then you need to have somebody there who can do, because 80% of that follow-up can be done by an assistant, by an administrator. But it needs to be done. That's why you have the postcards as part of the system. That's why you have the letters. That's why you have the market updates, and all that is part of the machine. And it's not like unique to expireds. That's just how marketing is done. If you look around online, offline, big companies, small companies, the same process. Repetition, relevant message to the right audience with a certain frequency. Yeah?
Gotcha. No, that makes sense.
I mean, it's not that complicated. It just requires to take these steps over and over and over.
The thing that out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead.
It will take you 5 to 15 contacts in most cases to convert. Majority of your conversions happen between follow-up 5 and follow-up 15. That would be, and I'm just guessing, 80 to 90% of your listings will come from that window between follow-up 5 and follow-up 15. Now, here's the good news. You know where most agents give up?
The number 1.
About 2 or 3.
1 or 2. Okay.
They try once, they try again. The really persistent ones go 3, that's it. So you got a wide open opportunity. Yes, you will have competition, just not very competent competition.
Right.
So that means you don't need to be perfect at this. You don't need to excel at this. You just need to do it a little better than the rest. And that's not that hard. So here is your takeaways, things you need to do right now. Map out, and this is what you can do. This is how I did it, so that because I was in Los Angeles where everything is fucking an hour away. You map out 2 or 3 expireds daily that you want to visit. Then you map out 2 or 3 properties you want to drive by and take a look, so you stay on top of the market. And then you just connect the dots. So you drive, stop 1, stop 2, stop 3, stop 4, stop 5, stop 6, back to the office. That's a productive morning. Maybe throw in a FSBO or 2, talk to people. Preview property, take some notes, maybe take a picture. That's it. While somebody in your office is doing the laborious part. Sending the cards, sending the letters, doing the administrative stuff. Because there is no money in it. I mean, there is money in it. It needs to be done, just not by you.
Right.
So for a few bucks an hour, you're going to have somebody sitting there doing this for you, and you're doing the productive stuff. Okay? So set up your CRM. Set up the marketing materials, including the postcards. Hire somebody who's going to manage that all for you. Work on your good, confident communication. That's important. And just work it daily. And if you set up these funnels, we talked about the funnels on our previous call, FSBOs, expireds, your sphere, maybe do some online advertising. Right now, Facebook is a really good opportunity. You're going to clean up, dude. You're going to kill it this year. There's tons of opportunities. And listings are the name of the game, always have been. But especially now, having a good system to generate good, motivated sellers, you're set. You can make a lot of money.
Got it.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, I was just, it is. So I guess just kind of to recap this thing off, because I'm pretty sure even when you dial, do you cold call or door knock, or have you not done that in years?
No, I haven't done it. I mean, I would still do it the same way. Pattern interrupt, confident communication, nice dialogue, easy, control the conversation with questions, keep moving swiftly, no long drawn discussions or anything, qualify, go for follow-up.
Gotcha. I see. So no matter, even if a prospect, like, yeah, I'm not looking at the list. And even when I tell them like, hey, I'm Saul Dennis, Coldwell Banker. Yeah, I know you probably been getting like a million calls from realtors. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, I know you're probably not looking at the list. Ha, 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 ha. All that. Yeah, we're not looking at the list. All right, there. Okay. Trying to slam the door on me or close the door. They're just trying to get me out as fast as possible. So even with that being said, still handling the package, still go through the regular, follow-up process.
Yep.
Okay.
Because you need to have a solid evidence beyond doubt that they're not motivated, they don't want to sell, or you don't want to work with them. And sometimes that can happen. Like there are some properties in my area where I just don't want to list those. Those are difficult to sell. We had one street called Lambert, and there were train tracks right behind it. And even though the train would go by only like 3 or 4 times a week, it was just a difficult sell. Nobody wants to have a fucking train in your backyard. So I would stay from those. Mm-hmm. But other than that, unless you really know these people are not motivated, they don't want to sell. And sometimes they will tell you stuff that may indicate that. But sellers are very good at hiding their true intentions because they know that if they give you their honest, true intentions, they're going to be exploited and manipulated. Mm-hmm. That's like you walking into a car dealership with a suitcase full of cash saying, I'm desperate to buy a car. You know what I mean? There'll be these sharks going, oh yeah, baby, payday. You understand? So they're very kind of standoffish. They have this barrier to protect themselves. And so the first order of business is to break through it, to warm them up, to show them, I'm just here to help. I don't know if I want the listing or if I can help you. Let's explore it. No?
Okay, gotcha. No, their bitch shield was just so strong. I was just like, hey, you know what? He's so much of a prick, man. I'm not going to even want to work with him. But now I got it. Okay.
They have to be. It's like this. Think about it this way. There's a hot girl in the bar. Mm-hmm. Sexy, beautiful young lady in the bar. What is her normal reaction when you approach her and says, can I buy you a drink?
She just blows you off.
She just blows you off, right? Because she gets hit on so much. She knows that she's got something that every dude in that bar wants. Now imagine you walk up to her and says, hey, baby, come to my bedroom right now. What are the chances of you actually taking her home?
Almost zero.
Zero. And yet that's what agents try to do. They try to convince the seller and manipulate the seller. Of course it doesn't work. And then they say, expireds don't work. No, you're doing it wrong. These are people who don't understand the human psychology. These are sellers who've been approached by all kinds of idiots and all kinds of shysters and all kinds of salesmen using all kinds of tricks and promising them buyers and promising all that. They know most agents are full of shit and they just want the commission. They want the listing. They see right through it. So what does it take? How do you get them? Patience, high status, communication, repetition. Those are the ingredients. And the 3 C's I always talk about: confidence, competence, compassion. All 3 must be present. Very, very important. All 3 are essential, especially now. Where you go with compassion, you understand that a lot of these people are completely confused, scared shitless, nervous about their equity, about their future. Should they go? Shouldn't they go? Stuff. So you nurture that. You work with them. You patiently chip away that resistance. But that resistance is normal. It's just, again, human psychology. That's our nature.
Yeah, I thought that they were doing so good financially that they didn't even need to sell. Like, yeah, don't worry, we'll just keep it on market. Yeah, I'm not looking. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's possible. That is very possible that occasionally you will hit a seller who says, I don't really care. We can stay here for 10 more years. It's not a problem. But until you're certain that they're telling you the truth, that this is not just a deflection, I have a boyfriend, or I'm just looking. This happened to me so many times. I was kicking myself in the ass myself, which is hard to do, until I figured it out, because it cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions. I knock on the door. I'm in Southern California, a lot of people moving to Oregon. Seller would tell me, we wanted to move to Oregon. We already had this little community picked out. It's like a lot of older folks like us live there, but then we changed our mind. Market is going down. Prices are in a shitter. We're going to stay. We're not going anywhere. Thanks for stopping by. Nobody was interested in our house, and we're not going to negotiate our price. Okay, here's my card if you change your mind. I walk away. 4 weeks later, call a banker sign in the front yard for a good price. I'm like, what the fuck? First, I thought they were lying to me. Why would the seller lie to me? And how did the other agent price it so well and get the sucker sold so quickly? Until I figured out human psychology. At that point, at that time, the seller was pissed off, fed up, scared, confused. So they didn't want to deal with it, which is everybody's natural reaction, is to put off a difficult decision or not deal with a problem, right? Rather than dealing with it, you go, fuck it, I'm just going to go have a sandwich. I don't want to talk about it. And on top of it, 20 agents come and they all say the same things. When do you plan to interview the top agents for the job of getting your home sold? Or variation thereof. And we all memorized that script because I went through that seminar too. So of course they're going to tell you these things because 1, they may believe it at the time, and 2, they have no reason to trust me. I'm just another salesman, not a stranger to them at their front door. But a smarter agent says, aha, but I know what happens statistically. There's a 50% chance that these folks will go back on the market with somebody who they like or trust. Like and trust. And if I'm smart about it, and if I'm patient, that agent's going to be me. Because I also know that most agents give up too soon. Now, is it possible we're going to follow up the shit out of them for the next 8 months and nothing's going to happen? That's possible. But I'd rather do that than lose all these listings. Because if they don't know what the hell's going to happen, how can I know? Now, there may come a point where you say, you know what? These folks I'll remove. And that's fine. You don't want to just collect leads for the sake of following up. But if you do this even somewhat right, some will convert. My numbers, and again, yours will be different. Out of 10 expireds on my follow-up, 1 became a listing. That was pretty consistent. So do the math. You want a listing a week, you put 10 expireds on a follow-up. Now, again, your number is different because there are a lot of variants in there. But there will be a number you're going to have after a while.
Right.
Yeah?
Amen. Amen. Wow. I think that basically just answered every question I had other than just old expireds and new expireds. But I guess it really doesn't even matter with the old expireds and new expireds because it's, even if they tell me the same thing.
Sometimes you convert the new expired right away, and sometimes it's going to take months. Sometimes you convert the old expired, you just happen to call at the perfect time. We're like, shit, I can't believe you called. My wife and I just last night over dinner, we were talking about putting the house back on the market. Happened to me. And sometimes the old expired was not right now, but give us 30 days. Groovy. It just depends. It depends on those two things, their urgency and your skills.
And the time link, okay. And whether if they're new or old, yeah, it doesn't matter. That's what I realized.
It doesn't matter because if they have a problem that will be solved by moving, then you got something to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And the intensity, the urgency will determine how soon they will do something.
Gotcha.
And you need to also decipher what is the fear holding them back. Is it that they won't get their price? Is it that they will not find another house? Is it that they will regret it later? There's always a fear. There's always a barrier. Is it that they don't know who to trust? Or something else? But these are usually the biggest ones.
Mm-hmm.
And some are objections and some are conditions. I can work with objections. I don't mind objections. That means I'm still in the running. I can't do anything about conditions. If they say, you know what, my job transfer didn't go through, nothing I can do.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, man.
That's it.
You know what to do?
Yep, I know exactly what to do. Thanks.
Plan it, put it on your calendar, do it daily, get some help, set up the CRM, keep going. Talk to people, talk to people, talk to people. And I don't really care what they tell me on the phone. I don't really care. Or even at the door. Do you think they'll remember? Doesn't matter. I'll keep in touch. Persistent. It's not complicated. You know what I mean? The principles are not complicated. The system is not complicated. Doesn't mean it's easy. But it can be very profitable. Very, very profitable. Especially now. A lot of your competition gone, done. A lot of the incompetent agents who shouldn't be in this business in the first place, gone. So the field is wide open right now. Grab the ball and run with it. A lot of money, a lot of opportunity, and a lot of people who need your help right now. They need some kind of a certainty, some kind of direction. People are really confused. What's going on with the market? Can the homes be sold? What should they do? How should they go about it? All of that. All right, brother.
All right, man. No, that's it. I appreciate your help, Borino. Hey, Borino.
Good deal. Anytime.
You answered that. You answered that question that was on the back of my mind. And I appreciate you answering that.
Good deal. Glad I can help, man. Keep me posted. I've done this before, so this is not my first time. So
okay.
Keep me posted. Stay with it. If you run into snags, just let me know. Reach out.
Okay. Yeah, I might see you at a boot camp one of these days.
Would love to. Would love to have you. We're gonna do the video boot camp next, and then we're gonna do the expired boot camp right after that. So do both. Are you on the path with me?
No, I'm not.
Okay. You might want to do the path because we're going to kind of accelerate, we're going to accelerate building these systems for you. Time management, follow-up, lead generation, listing presentation, all of that.
Okay. When's the expired boot camp coming up?
The expired boot camp will be end of June. We're going to do the video boot camp now. And then right after that, video boot camp is 21 days. And then the expired.
Okay, expired. Okay. I guess I can purchase that with one of your assistants, right? Expired boot camp.
Yeah, and if you join the path, you're gonna get all my systems one by one, and I'll help you build it too. So that's the cool thing about the path. So, but you have options. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I know you got to go. We'll talk to you then.
No worries, Asad. Good chatting with you, my friend.